Hey, good morning, everybody. The stay at the hostel was really good last night. After I closed out the last video, there was probably 20 of us that were in a large room. We did some pack shakedowns, which is basically just people that think they're carrying a little bit too much weight. They dumped all their stuff out in the floor in front of the rest of us, and we all just gave them some feedback on things they may want to ditch just to save some weight. That was actually a lot of fun. I'm secretly a geek out on that a little bit. We had a really good dinner. It was really quiet. The way that hostel's set up, the bunks are kind of partitioned off. There was 4 in one area, 4 in another, and where I was at was very quiet. There was very little snorers, so that was great. Got a really good night's sleep. They had coffee brewing before 6:30 a.m. Really good breakfast, and we got going this morning pretty early. When we got started, it was pretty difficult first going out the door. It was abrasive. The cold was, I think, 13 degrees this morning. It was closer to 20 to 22 when we left. There's been a lot of hoarfrost on the trail this morning, and it's been beautiful. The sun's coming out, and it's going to warm up pretty quick. I think the high today is 47. We're already almost 2.3 miles in for the day, so we're already a quarter of the way done, and I don't even think it's 10 o'clock yet. So anyway, that's all I got for now, and I'll check in later. Okay, now in the Blood Mountain Wilderness, and climbing up the next mountain is Preacher Rock. This is the trail we have here. There's a little bit of ice here, so I better put this away so I don't slip and break my face.
I think so.
The view from Preacher's Rock.
I did the hardest part in Maine.
Yeah.
2018.
Hey, had a great day today. We sat on Preacher Rock and had lunch for about an hour. The sun was like beaming and it almost felt like it was warm outside. It was the first time on trail so far this year that I actually took a real lunch break. We did almost 10 miles today. The miles were pretty easy. It was a pretty non-eventful day. I hiked with 2 others that I've been hiking with the last 2 days, and we pretty much talked the whole day, so the miles went by quick. We got to the place we're camped at, 3 o'clock or so, and we have just been hanging out at camp, and the sun is setting a lot later since this is the first day after the time change. So it's going to be light until like 8 o'clock, and we're all ready for bed already. So anyway, we have 2 more going to join us tomorrow, and we're going to try to get to Neel Gap in time to get a hiker rate on a cabin. If they are full, we're going to go ahead and keep hiking another mile. I'm going to resupply tomorrow and probably stay out for another 4 days before we stay in a hostel next Friday, I think. Let's see, what else is there to say about today? The weather was pretty mild. It was cold in the morning, like 20 or so. Most of the afternoon, the weather was mild. Today was just a good casual day on trail. All right, so I'm going to hit the hay and good night. Hey, good morning. So sorry about the rushed closing last night. We got to camp early and met some new people, and we're hanging out, just having dinner, hanging bear bags for the first time on trail this year. And I had forgotten that I did not do a closeout summary of the day until late. So a couple things I did not explain. Sorry, I'm huffing and puffing a little bit. I'm part of the way up the Blood Mountain climb. So Blood Mountain's the highest peak in Georgia. So, or maybe on the AT in Georgia, I don't remember. Either way, we were staying at an area called Gooch Gap last night. It is it's really not even a campsite. And there's a 5-mile stretch in the Blood Mountain Wilderness that does not allow you to camp there unless you have a bear canister. And most people do not hike the AT with a bear canister because that's the only section that requires a bear canister. So there's an area that there is a somewhat reliable water source right on the edge of that canister zone. So there was a bunch of people, a lot of tents piled in close last night. So on the other side of Blood Mountain is Mountain Crossings, which is usually the first resupply point that most people do on trail. And there are cabins next door to mountain crossings. So there's a really good hiker rate. It's almost half of the rate that if you make a reservation. But to get that hiker rate, it's walk-in, first come, first serve only. So I got up this morning well before sunrise, and actually it's just now sunrise. Let me turn this around. It's a beautiful sunrise. I don't know how well that's captured there. Perfect. Sorry, back to my ugly mug after that beautiful sunrise. So I got up early, and I'm gonna try to get over Blood and get into the cabins and get one of those before the big crowd comes. I think we have 5 or 6 of us that would split that. So it's only like $15 a piece or less if we're able to get it. So the other thing last night, it was about 25 degrees, but the humidity was really low. There's no condensation, and there was almost no wind. So it would have been fairly pleasant, except, I don't know, sometime in the middle of the night, maybe 2 or 3 a.m., I woke up and I was feeling a little cold from underneath. And at these temperatures, my sleep system should be more than comfortable. And then I realized my sleeping pad was half inflated or half deflated. I guess it depends if you're a glass half full kind of person. So I got off my pad and blew it back up. About 2 or 3 hours later, it was back to half deflated again. So I'm assuming there's a really small hole in it. At first, I was hoping that it was just a change in the temperature from when I first inflated it. And then once the temps dropped, I thought maybe it just deflated a little bit. So hopefully we can get a cabin so I can find that hole. I do have stuff to repair it, but if not, it's not that bad. And if it gets bad enough, I'll find it. So I'm not overly worried about it, but it would be nice to get that taken care of today. Today was the last of this bitter cold that we've had, or I guess last night was. Today we're back up close to 50, I believe. And then I think tonight the low's like only 38 or something, so well above freezing. So it's looking like a really good day. I'm looking forward to getting over to Neel Gap. And if we are able to get a cabin, we're only going to be doing 5.1 miles today. So it's going to be a real easy day. I should be there, I don't know, 9 or 10 o'clock at probably the latest. If we're not able to get a cabin, we're going to push 1 more mile to the Bull Gap campsite. So worst case scenario, we're only doing 6 miles today. So I think that's about it for now. I hope you all are still sleeping. Have a good one. So I'm still climbing Blood Mountain, and I noticed here this sign. So that's the Slaughter Trail on Blood Mountain in the Blood Mountain Wilderness. I really wonder, like, what happened here that made this place deserve these names. So there's been some great trail maintenance here. They've actually built stone steps. Okay, I've been climbing out of Girard Gap up to Blood Mountain for just over 2 miles. That's Blood Mountain we're looking at right now. So, I don't know what we can see here. So the trail goes this way. Let's see if I can figure this out. So the trail's gonna go up there, and then we're gonna follow this ridge line there, and then climb up there. So on the camera, it does not look like it's that high, but especially since I've already climbed for over 2 miles, it seems pretty high. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on here. Okay, so that's where we're going. Okay, I'm almost to the summit of Blood Mountain. Here's the iconic Blood Mountain shelter. I have a few things I was wrong about. I need to confess here in a minute. But let me get up here and see if anybody else is around, so I know how quiet I have to be so I don't disturb them. Be right back. Okay, no one else is around. No one's in the shelter, still sleeping from last night. So let me go ahead and give you a tour of the shelter. So the old fireplace is all stoned in, so you can't have fires anymore. I don't think many people stay here because it's very cold and drafty up here, and there are no windows, that's just open. So it's a drafty place. There's like a second room back here. But again, there's the floor's pretty dirty. There is a broom, but I don't know that that's the cleanest either. And then again, there's no windows. That's just a completely open. This is the view from the top of Blood Mountain. And I climbed up here on this very peak. It is actually, you can see we're above the roof of the stone shelter. Okay. It's beautiful up here. Okay, it's cold up here, but I'm going to go ahead and do this from up here so you guys can get a good look at the view behind me while I'm talking. Maybe you'll forget about what I'm about to say, because this is confession time. Those of you know me know that I do not like to be wrong, and I have been wrong a couple times today. One, I told you that I would maybe be in the Neel Gap by 9 or 10 o'clock. Maybe 10, no chance for 9. I keep forgetting about the time change. Pretty much we wake up and go to sleep out here with the sun, so the time is somewhat irrelevant. The other thing, when I was showing you what I thought was Blood Mountain, where I showed we were going to go down the saddle and up to the next peak, I was wrong about that, and that peak is down below me a good ways. I was actually on Blood Mountain and climbing it, so I had to climb further than what I thought. But either way, it is a sunny morning, clear blue skies as you can see. It's an absolutely beautiful day for hiking, and it's a short day. I guess this is the first Nero day, if we're only going to do 5 or 6 miles. No plans for any zeros anytime soon. With keeping the miles low, everything has been rolling pretty good, and don't feel like I need much of a break. I feel like every day's been mostly a break. All right, I will get back to y'all when I get into Neel Gap. This is the trail, and it's steeper than it looks on here. Here are my feet. The trail appears to just fall off into the trees. Here we go. Hey everybody, I made it to Neel Gap. Mountain crossings at Neel Gap is the first iconic point on the trail, and it's the point where about 25% of potential thru hikers quit. I'm excited to be here. Maybe sun washed out, but this is mountain crossings at Neel Gap. It used to be a hostel, but that closed in 2020 for COVID and never reopened. It's a full service outfitter, and I plan to resupply my food here. And right above me is the famous Tree of Souls, where people that end their hikes here throw their shoes. I'm walking on this side trail. I didn't even go into mountain crossings. I came straight over here to Blood Mountain Cabins. I got to stay here last year, and they have a thru hiker rate, but it's first come, first serve, walk in only, and it's like really cheap. It's like under 80 bucks for the whole cabin. I called just at the top of the hill just to make sure I wasn't walking down here for no reason, and they said they have a cabin. I got a cabin, I got a cabin, I got a cabin today, hey, hey. Okay, I'm at the cabin, and all the hiker chores are done. We started, once everyone got down to Neel Gap, we had pizza, resupplied our food, showered in the cabin. It's been a really busy afternoon, and I'm really tired. The biggest and most important thing I got done, I filled up the bathtub at the cabin and held my air mattress underwater little bits at a time while someone else stood above me and held a flashlight. And we finally found the air bubbles coming out of the air mattress. So Found the hole in my pad that I was struggling with last night, and I did have a repair kit with me. I was able to fix it, so fingers crossed that that works. I'm not really sure what we're going to do the rest of the evening here. It's getting close to, I think, 5 o'clock at this point. Probably just going to figure out something to eat and probably try to go to sleep early, since I did not sleep very well last night. And that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and end the video with some pictures, and I'll show you a little bit shots off the balcony here.